here, Alex. We appreciate it so much. All right, you guys, we have another amazing speaker up for you today. So excited to bring into our world, Gini Trask. So Gini, if you're here, come on up on stage. And
hey, Michelle.
Hi, Gini. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Great. Well, let me share a little bit about you to our audience. For those of you that don't know, Gini is Kimberly's co-host of Speakers Playhouse. All right. So if you guys are a fan of Speakers Playhouse, put hashtag best 90 minutes in the chat there.
Of your week.
I almost had it right. Sorry. Awesome. So come on, bring it in. Yes, so many people. I hear about Speakers Playhouse everywhere. I love it. I attend as many times as I can. It is awesome. So without further ado, Gini, let me just share a little bit more about you. You travel around the world as a speaker and a consultant. Gini also helps companies go beyond compromise to creating solutions that truly make everyone feel that we have won. So Gini, you have collaborated with Kimberly on so many different projects, do summits together, you guys do the retreat you just had for speakers. There are so many cool things I'd love for you to share with everyone what you do, what all you do, because it is so amazing, so many things. So Gini, guys, let's give Gini a big, huge hello, welcome to Podapalooza today. We're so happy that you are here, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about, you know, what are things about your magic and your message and reconnecting to your magic. So thanks so much, Gini, for being with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, guys. Wow, what an amazing day so far. So I'm actually going to start with a quote that you might have heard before. If you aren't being seen, you're being overlooked. If you aren't being heard, your message isn't getting out there. And if you aren't clear on your message, it's not having the impact that you want to make in the world. So we're going to be talking about your magic in your message and reconnecting to that and creating a core message. I really want to acknowledge Kimberly and Michelle for putting this together, because they really are dedicated to getting your magic out there in the world, right? Because I believe that your magic and your message are indelibly connected. And by the way, kudos to the 82 of you that are here showing up like right now for your magic and your message, and really wanting to make the impact that you want to make in the world. So you guys are awesome. So if it's okay, I'll just tell you a little bit about why I'm so passionate about this subject. When I was a kid, I actually grew up with a lot of magic in my life. I also had a tumultuous childhood, but I grew up in sort of a magical forest, and I could go out in that forest every day, and I could just connect to that magic, and I could feel it. And I knew that I was magic. I just knew, right? I knew that I had this power, and I could feel it all the time. And if you guys ever felt that as a kid, like you have a moment in your childhood where you felt like super magical or powerful. So I had that. And then I grew up, right? It's kind of like that whole Never Never Land story, right? As I grew up, I slowly started to dim my light more and more and more. Now, as a child, I had actually created a lot of magic in people's lives, and I didn't really realize that's what I was doing. But I, in my early childhood, would bring people to my house and bring them out into my forest and be like, I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew that their lives were going to get better. I had a friend whose mom was a crack addict and was suffering a lot of abuse, and brought her out to my property, and it was great. She actually really transformed her life and went on to live a very successful adulthood. I had another friend that was bulimic at the age of 12, and once we started spending time together and everything, really reconnected her to her magic, and she actually now is a professional belly dancer. So she got over those body image issues. She actually now helps other people with their body image issues. So I did a lot of that magic as a child, but as I got older, it slowly I started to learn that it wasn't okay, right? That I shouldn't feel like I was magical. I shouldn't feel that I was powerful, that was conceited, or there was something wrong with feeling that way. And so I started to kind of shrink down, right? Slowly but surely. And then I got married. And for whatever reason, for me, my husband's fabulous, by the way, we're still married, been together 20 years, but I had some sort of weird thing in my mind where I had to take a back seat and I had to sort of shrink myself down and be this little housewife and do all these things when I got married. Turns out he didn't actually want me to do that at all. Not at all what he thought I should do when we got married. It didn't actually happen until we actually signed that paperwork. And then I suddenly started like shrinking even smaller. Then I got my first corporate job. And that one really did it for me. I had a boss who actively told me that I was the wrong personality type and that I should be less of who I was. I was too personal. I was too friendly. I connected with people on too deep a level, and that people didn't actually want that. They just wanted to buy our products, be delivered the products, and that was the end of the day. And I shrunk down even more. And so this shrinking really didn't serve me, right? I did wind up building several successful businesses, but I would onboard clients who also felt threatened and also wanted me to dim my light. I actually was told by a client once, or a client told the management company that we were doing contract work for, that we gave too good a customer service, that their company couldn't compete with the level of customer service that my company gave. And so we should stop giving such good customer service. Sounds like a crazy thing to me, but that's what we were told, that we needed to dim down our customer service light to be even less. So I went through almost 20 years of dimming down this light and feeling like I really couldn't be myself. I shouldn't be myself. And then I found the most revolutionary thing for me and my business, which was public speaking. I found a group of people that actually helped me to realize that I was magic and that the world did need my magic. And slowly but surely, they believed in me more than I believed in myself at the time. And slowly but surely, I learned how to craft my message and I learned how to reconnect with my magic. And so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that today and how you also can reconnect with your magic. Because the thing is that you are magic. There is magic in each and every one of you. And I'll quote Marianne Williamson, right? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? But who are you not to be, right? And when you shine your light, you unconsciously give permission to others to do the same. So I want all of you to shine your light. I want you to be that light in the darkness that someone needs. And even if, maybe you haven't made it exactly where you want to be, it's okay. Because as my amazing partner Kimberly says, to a second grader, a fifth grader is the genius, right? They really are. So I know that there's folks out there that have felt imposter syndrome and things like that. And you can put a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt imposter syndrome, right? But you can put a 2 in the chat if you're ready to get over that imposter syndrome and tap into your magic, because you guys are magic and the world needs your special kind of magic. So imagine that you are a client magnet, that clients just flow to you and they're literally raising their hand in the back of the room or, in the chat of your Zoom room. And they're like, you're my people, you're my tribe, you're my person. Doesn't that feel great when that happens? And how many of you guys would like it if that happened more? So I truly believe that getting clear on your message and getting clear on your magic is the key to creating that type of response in customers and to creating tribe. So how do we do that? Right? Because some of you might not quite be there yet, right? You want to be in that state of just attracting people like mad unconsciously without really feeling like you're doing anything, right? But some of us aren't quite in that place. So how do we get to that place? So I'm going to give you guys a few little tips and tricks that I used during my process and that I work with my clients on. So the first piece is to realize that you're the jar of magic, but that sometimes you can't read the label on the jar because you're inside the jar, right? So you can't read the label on the outside because you're inside. So sometimes we need a little help reading that label. Now, if you guys have a coach or someone like that, that's a great person to turn to. But I suggest everyone go home tonight and send out a message to 5 clients and 5 loved ones or people that have worked with you before. So that's 10 in total, 10 messages total. And say, if I just found out I was a jar of magic, what would you say is on my label? What do you think are the ingredients in my jar of magic, right? Just ask them, what is on your ingredient label? What kind of magic have you done for them? Or what kind of magic do they see in you? So gather that from as many people as you can. You'd be surprised at what people will say. And you might start to see some similar messages, as you go along, right? There might be some similarities. There might also be complete and total differences. Now, when you're doing this, I don't want you to ask your broke brother-in-law. I don't want you to ask those people who have typically torn you down or made you cry or told you to shrink down your light. Those are not your people. I'm talking, ask your people who love you, cherish you, and do more business with you, right? Those are your people. Let them read your label. Don't ever let someone read your label that is not in the place that you would want to be or that is not a supportive person. Because we all have those people in our lives too, right? And you should kick them to the curb. Like, only positive people in our lives. All right, so now the second part that I'm going to tell you is to get actually, so you got all that. Now I want you to throw it all away. I want you to go out in nature somewhere, and I want you to reconnect to yourself. I don't know if I have any human design folks out in the world. If you're into human design, you can put HD in the chat. If you're not, that's totally fine. You guys can Google it later. But I believe that we are so conditioned in our world by the people around us, by our loved ones, by our coworkers, by our bosses, by previous people that we've been involved with, right? We get into this conditioning. Oh, wow, we've got a lot of human design people. So in human design, I'm a reflector, just for all my human design geeks out there. So the thing is that we are all being conditioned by other people all the time. How many of you guys have ever had somebody say something to you and then you did it? And then you turned around and you were like, why did I do that? That wasn't me, right? That's not something that I am aligned with. It's not something that I do. And yet we do it, right? We bend over backwards for others. We do what we should do. We do what society told us to do. And these might not be things that are actually true for us. And they don't necessarily align with us. But it's the outside influence of others that creates this for us. So I want you guys to go out. I want you to find a place out in nature. Now, I do this. I lead meditation retreats. I take people out into my forest. I have a 30-acre private forest in South Texas, and I take people out into my forest to have these experiences where they can get outside of the field of other people's conditioning. I want you to turn off your phone. I want you to let somebody know where you are. Please don't disappear in the woods. Let someone know where you are, but turn off your phone, right? Stay away from social media. Really take at least an entire day and get out into nature and breathe. And, if there were little things you did as a kid, do those things. So if you used to pick flowers and make magic potions, do that, right? If you used to dig in the dirt, do that. If you used to grab sticks and whack trees with sticks, do that, right? Whatever, something that you used to do outside as a kid. Because the thing is that the truth was in us when we were children. And we allowed other people to influence that truth. So I'm going to do a quick little exercise with you guys. So I'd like for everyone to close their eyes. And if you want to go off camera because you don't want to have your eyes closed on camera, that's totally fine. So we're going to close our eyes, and hopefully everyone's sitting in a chair. It's best to do this if you're sitting in a chair. And I want you to really feel your feet on the ground. I want you to really feel the backs of your legs and your butt touching the chair. Really feel that connection. Really feel the connection with your feet on the ground. And I want you to take a really deep breath into your belly and then breathe it out. When you breathe it out, I really want you to squeeze with your abs. Squeeze with your abs until you express all the air out. That's what we call a full breath. Now we're going to do that one more time. And really focus as you're breathing on feeling your feet on the floor. Now I want you to imagine that there's some sort of light coming up from the earth, coming up through your feet. If it helps, you can imagine a root coming out of your tailbone down into the earth, and imagine energy coming up. It can be light, it can be energy, whatever word you want to use. And let that come up to your heart. Keep taking these deep breaths. Really let your belly expand all the way on the in-breath. And imagine this light coming all the way up to your heart. Now I want you to imagine a light coming down out of the heavens, out of the sky, out of the cosmos, out of the universe, whatever works for you, coming down through your head, down your spine, and meeting at your heart where this other light is meeting. We are the messengers of God and the universe on earth. It's our job to make manifest the glory of God, the universe. We are here for a purpose. Our consciousness and our earthliness bring us together. I want you to imagine the light expanding in your heart, getting bigger and bigger with every breath. Now I want you to think back to a time in your childhood when you felt really magical or powerful. Maybe you won a baseball game. Maybe you were just out wandering out in the forest with your friends. But a time when you felt really connected to the earth, to the power of the earth, or to your fellow humans. I want you to feel the way that that felt, to feel so powerful and so magical. Now we're going to bring that back into the room with us. We're going to make it real, bring it back into reality. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. I want you guys to think about, what was that thing, right? Does that thing relate at all to what you do now? I find a lot of surprising answers, right? When I was a kid, I took my friends into the forest to heal them because I had some friends that had really hard lives. And I had a hard life too. My mom was a drug addict, but some of my friends had it a lot worse than I did, right? And I took them into the forest. And now, 30 years later, here I am doing the same thing, right? Taking people out into the forest to reconnect with themselves. My friend Joyce, she has, when she was a little kid, she used to go out and gather flowers and plants and make potions. And literally now, that's what she does. She makes holistic skincare products from all natural ingredients. So sometimes the thing that we did as a child is connected to the work that we do in some way, shape, or form. So if you guys take my little challenge and you go out into the forest, I want you to actually try to do this exercise again. Guys, it took us literally like 5 minutes to do it, but I would love for you to go and do this when you're outside the sphere of everyone else's influence. When you're outside what everyone else has to say and what everyone tells you you should do. Because there's a lot of people out there telling us what we should do, but they might not be able to read our label on our jar of magic, right? So the last part is once you've done these two things, right? You've heard what everyone has to say about you. Then you've let go of everything that everyone has to say about you, and you've connected to that special power that you have inside you. You just have to begin the process of actually crafting your core message. So I'll tell you a little bit about, I personally think your core message should be anywhere from 3 to 5 words. My core message is, you are magic. My friend Susan Kirby's is, when I shine my light, my people find me, right? So what is your core message? Just start writing it down. Start speaking it out loud. And many of you guys know I co-founded Speakers Playhouse with Kimberly Crow. And one of the big things that we're committed to is just literally, you guys have to say that, you have to say this over and over again. Just like, I think everybody on this call is probably a speaker, right? You have to just do your talks over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So I suggest that you say your core message 100 times. If it doesn't feel right, change it a little bit. Say it out loud to other people. And I'm going to say this, it might feel really scary and really vulnerable, because a lot of times that thing that we do that's magic is actually really scary for us to show the world. Because what if we show the world our magic and then somehow get rejected? It's a very vulnerable thing to do, but it's completely worth it. When you're living your core message, your people are just magnetically attracted to you. When you say the words that they have been dying to hear their whole lives, they instantly become your tribe. So it's completely worth it to go through this exercise. And again, say it out loud, put it on your website, tell your friends, come to Speakers Playhouse, right? Come to Speakers Playhouse and put it in your talk title. I will give you guys another quick tip as speakers. I believe that your core message should fit, at least a few of the words should fit in the talk title. So you guys notice that we have the talk title in the title here, right? Then I said my core message, right? And then typically you would want your offer to also contain some of those words. That's just a little tip that we work on when we work on your core message in my Playful Out program. So Kimberly and I actually have an amazing program called Playful Out. And guys, I love all of this. I love all of this that you're putting in the chat. Keep putting, if you have a core message, put it in there. We want to see it. Put your core message in the chat. I would love to see it. And so definitely, you guys should all come to Speakers Playhouse. You should absolutely check it out. But if you're really wanting to get on a lot of stages and you're really wanting to go through this practice of just saying your truth over and over and over and over again, we also have an amazing program called Playful Out. I think that you guys should all be playing full out in your lives, in your businesses, every single day. And that is our dedication to you guys in the Playful Out program. So we're going to drop a link in there. You guys can check out the Playful Out program. It's mine and Kimberly's program. It's absolutely wonderful. We enjoy spending, we have 3 sessions a month for you guys to actually practice your talks. And then you guys get a library of basically courses for speakers, just a huge library of courses for speakers. Each course is like 2 or 3 hours long, and there's, I don't know, almost 50 of them now, and we add more every week. Plus you get a bunch of other cool things like front of the line access at Speakers Playhouse. So anyway, we would love for you guys to join us. Keep practicing your message because the world needs your light.
Thank you, Ginny. And I also noticed that at Speakers Playhouse, when you're a Playful Out member, you get to put that PFO at the beginning of your name and you get to go first on the microphone. Huge bonus, right? That's when people are listening, right? Right at the beginning. So Ginny and Kimberly put together an amazing program, guys. I've been hearing so many great things about it over the last few months of it coming to life, and it's just awesome. So guys, make sure you check it out. We've put the links in the chat there. Go check it out. Become a member. It is well worth it. Ginny and Kimberly are amazing, and they bring so much of their brilliance to this program. So thank you so much, Ginny, for grounding us in the middle of our busy day today. I really felt like we feel a little bit more refreshed. Give Ginny some love in the chat, guys. You feel refreshed after that little meditation, a little grounding, and a lot more confidence behind sharing our message with the world. So thank you, Ginny. You're awesome.
Thank you guys so much for having me. So you guys get out there and create some magic.
Awesome. Thanks, Ginny. Oh, you guys.